Every day, thousands of drivers travel some of the most dangerous roads in Charleston County, and they may not even realize it.
Now, North Charleston leaders are asking for one last round of public input before finalizing a plan they hope will make these roads safer. Our Gracie Kirschner joins us live along Rivers Avenue. So, Gracie, why is where you're standing at the center of that effort?
Yeah, good morning, Anna and Shelby. So I'm standing on Rivers Avenue, which according to SCDOT data is one of the deadliest roads here in Charleston County. And it's not the only one. Actually, I'm standing in front of the intersection of Rivers Avenue and Ashley Phosphate Road, which is another one that falls into that category. According to that data, 4 out of 5 of the deadliest roads in Charleston County fall right here in North Charleston. And so city leaders say it's time to do something about it. That's exactly why they're creating a safety action plan, and they want your input on what to do and where to fix. Along with Rivers Avenue, the other roads include Dorchester Road and Remount Road. The city's comprehensive safety action plan is funded through the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads for All program. Officials say the program will help identify where safety improvements are needed most, from pedestrian and bicycle crossings to better lighting, updated street signs, and intersection upgrades. Since April, residents have been able to share their concerns through an online survey and an interactive map, pinpointing places where they feel unsafe walking, biking, or driving. That public comment period ends today, though. City leaders say community feedback adds context that crash data can't, helping them identify problems before they become statistics.
I have received many concerns about lighting, enhanced lighting in our district, about speeding in our district, about not having enough sidewalks, crosswalks, making sure that children can walk to school and be safe, making sure that seniors can cross the intersections, making sure that people with disabilities are safe while they're outside on the sidewalk. So this is important for residents to communicate.
Now, once that public feedback is complete, city leaders say they will get to work finalizing that comprehensive safety action plan. And once it's done, it'll help them be one step closer to securing federal grants and making these suggestions a reality and keeping people in North Charleston safe. Reporting live in North Charleston, I'm Gracie Kirschner, Live 5 News.